Congratulations, you are now a homeowner and you're probably super excited. You're getting adjusted to your new home, learning about what it is to become a homeowner. But what are the 3 mistakes that people make when getting home insurance? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. And today I have a local insurance agent, Dakota Biwer. He's here with us and he's going to start us off with mistake number 1. So Dakota, what's the one thing that people should know about getting homeowners insurance?
Yeah. Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me. So I guess one of the biggest mistakes homeowners make would be just not having the correct coverage on their house, making sure they have replacement costs versus actual cash value. Replacement cost is going to guarantee, the full replacement cost of the house in today's market. So
okay, good. So replacement cost, basically, if you need a new roof and the new roof is going to cost $20,000 and you have replacement costs, you would get the $20,000 to replace your roof, right?
That's correct. Yep. Subject to your deductible, of course, but yep.
And so what's a deductible for people that have no knowledge about homeowners insurance? What is a deductible?
Yeah, so a deductible is basically just the amount that you retain as the insured. So let's say like you have a $20,000 roof loss. Say it's $20,000 to replace it. The insurance company is basically going to pay $19,000 if you have that $1,000 deductible.
Okay. So it basically is like the amount of money you have to pay if you file an insurance claim, right?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay. And what are some deductibles that people usually get for their home? Is it $1,000, $500, $2,500?
So it's really what you're most comfortable with. I would say most people will choose like $1,000 deductible. If you want to retain a little bit more of the risk and for a little bit lower premium, then a $2,500 deductible is sometimes a good option for folks. Obviously, the higher the deductible, the lower the premium. But obviously, $1,000 deductible is more affordable for some people.
Okay, so that makes sense. So yeah, the premium is what you would pay for insurance, and then deductible is when you do a claim, is how much you have to pay. So makes sense. So you talked about replacement costs. So what's the difference between replacement costs and actual cash value?
Yeah, so replacement cost is basically what it would cost to rebuild your home in today's market, taking into consideration debris removal, taxes, labor, materials, all that jazz. Actual cash value is basically the replacement cost minus the depreciation. So, at the time of a loss, if you have actual cash value, the appraiser is going to come out and take into consideration the age of everything and deduct that from what they pay out.
Okay, so obviously, if you have a home and you're having it insured, you should always go with replacement costs. It might cost you a little bit more, but you'll get full coverage. Okay, so
absolutely, yep.
So that's mistake 1 or something they should definitely consider. What's the second thing that people should consider when having homeowners insurance?
So there are a lot of optional coverages that you can kind of pick from when you're getting your home insurance. A lot of times these will be missed, especially if you're going online and getting a policy on your own. You're not really sure what you're buying. I recommend just reaching out to a local agent that can kind of walk you through all these optional coverages just so you have the coverage that you need. Couple of the coverages that are optional that you don't have to have, but that I recommend are going to be water sewer backup coverage. That's basically coverage for if water backs up through your sewer line, drain line, or if you have a sump pump, if that were to fail. Also service line coverage, that's going to be coverage. Every company's a little different on exactly what lines are going to cover, but that'd be basically your any utility lines going from the road to the house. So sewer lines, water lines, some companies will insure the irrigation lines, and so forth. Matching of siding and roofing coverage, basically providing coverage for undamaged sides. And the result, if there's a hailstorm damages, one side, if they can't find an exact match that matches the rest of the sides, they'll pay up to a certain limit to replace the other sides. That way everything matches. And then also equipment breakdown coverage is also a good coverage to have. Basically provides coverage for like your home systems, like your furnace and so forth. And general wear and tears typically not going to be included in that, but it basically will cover things like breakdowns, sudden breakdowns, electrical surges, and so forth.
Okay, so it sounds like these are some great add-on options to your insurance.
Absolutely.
And so when does it make sense to file a claim, right? Let's say your deductible is $1,000, right?
Yep.
So if let's say you have water sewer backup and let's say it costs $1,000 to fix that, should you file a claim then or no?
So usually what I recommend at the time of a loss is just reaching out to your agent, and we can kind of chat about it to see what makes the most sense.
Okay.
Depending on the amount of damage, I would recommend just getting a quick estimate, having a contractor come out, take a look at it to see what repairs are going to be necessary to get it back in the same spot as what you were prior to the loss, or reach out to your agent, and we can also discuss to see if it makes sense in filing a claim.
Okay. And do you typically have like recommendations for different contractors or people that maybe you work with that do a good job, or is it up to the client or the person to find their own contractors?
Yeah, so I mean, I work with a lot of great contractors in the area that I've just networked with and know personally in the area that I trust. And so if you don't have somebody that you personally trust in the area, or you don't really know, or you're new to the area, I would love to, refer some people that I trust and know will take good care of you at the, for whatever you're needing done.
Perfect. That's always a good option to have. Okay, so that's the second, thing homeowners should consider,
Yeah.
having different options based on their needs and their home and all that. So what's the third thing that people should know?
Yeah, so I would say the third thing would be making sure you have proper liability coverage. And that's basically going to be coverage to pay out if somebody gets hurt on your property and holds you liable for damage or holds you liable for injuries. So typically there's going to be, most companies are going to provide the highest limit. With most companies, it's going to be $500,000. Some will go up to $1 million, but they'll do like $100,000 increments typically. Usually 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, so forth.
So what's an example? Like, I mean, when would you need like liability insurance? Like, what would happen for you to have to use that?
Yeah, so let's say, somebody's walking, up to your front step, and let's say it's a little icy, and somebody slips and they fall and they get hurt, and they end up holding you liable for their injuries, and if they can't work for a while, they're gonna have the lost wages, things like that, and they take you to court and hold you liable. That's where that coverage is gonna come into play.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I think about when it snows out there, especially this winter has been super icy, and I'm like, I should probably go out and shovel because I don't want anyone slipping on my sidewalk or, suing me or anything like that. Okay, so that's when you would, liability insurance would cover, and then the coverage amounts kind of depends on your risk tolerance and what you're willing to do, right?
Correct. Yeah. So I usually recommend limits of $500,000, just being that, it's a good limit. If the company offers $1 million, that's usually a good option as well. Typically, the premium difference isn't going to be drastic, and you're getting a lot more liability coverage to protect you, your family, and your assets.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was surprised. I mean, I personally have liability insurance, and the additional cost to get more coverage is not that much when you think about it. So that's always something that you should definitely consider.
Right.
Okay, so we just went through 3 things that homeowners should consider, and then we have a 4th one that's kind of a bonus tip if you stuck around this long watching this video. And so, Dakota, tell us what's that tip that you have for people?
Yeah, so I would just recommend, when you are shopping for insurance, just to reach out to somebody local that you trust. I think it's, especially in the tech age that we're in right now, everybody, goes online and they'll get their policy themselves, and, the name your price tools and all that, where you just enter in kind of what you want to pay, and they basically give you a policy for the cost.
Sure.
But a lot of times there's going to be a lot of coverage gaps. You're not going to have coverage that you need, and it can leave you high and dry when you have a loss. So
Sure.
I recommend reaching out to a local agent. More particularly, I would reach out to an independent insurance broker, and they can shop you with multiple companies. So you have one agent can shop you with multiple companies to make sure you're getting the best rate, you're properly covered, and you're with the best company that fits your needs.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is, I mean, you have obviously multiple options when getting insurance. So you can go online, you can talk with a local agent, you can talk with a more national company where usually you have to like either go online or kind of call them and kind of get things set up. But I guess personally what I will attest to is like having a local person that you can text, call, be in contact with, where they can actually learn about you, what your needs are. Maybe you have some rental properties, maybe you have a boat that you use to go fishing, or some other fun things that you have. So obviously the more your insurance agent knows about what you have and your risks, right, and your risk tolerance, they can better advise you on what type of insurance you should have. The other thing that I've learned is, it's not always, going with the cheapest insurance is not always the best. And I found that when you have the cheapest insurance, a lot of times I feel that you're like undercovered. So yeah, the price might look good, but then, you know, when you have something that happens to your home or your car or anything that you're insuring, at the end, that'll cost you more if you don't have the proper insurance. So Dakota, thanks again for being here and providing all this great information. If someone wants to reach out to you with questions, or maybe they want to get insurance policy through you or just reach out to you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, give me a call, shoot me an email, or DM me on any of my social media.
Perfect. And again, we'll have all of Dakota's info. Thanks for watching.